Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiteboard Finance. My name is Marco and I'm here to help you master your money and build your wealth. Today we're going to talk about Coast FIRE. So if you're familiar with what FIRE is, or the FIRE movement, that stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. So I actually put together a small presentation for you and we're actually going to go through Coast FIRE calculations. I'm going to use my ridiculously overpriced Apple Pencil that I just bought just for this video. So please like the video and share it so I can recoup the cost of this $130 piece of plastic. And then we're going to do some calculations on the tablet, and then we're also going to go through my personal Coast FIRE number. So stay with me till the end. I'll give you my thoughts at the end on all this. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into the presentation that I made just for the subscribers and the viewers. Super high quality content here. It's a PowerPoint. Ooh. So what is Coast FIRE? Again, FIRE stands for Financial Independence Retire Early, presented by Marco Whiteboard Finance. That's me. Possibly one of the greatest finance channels on YouTube, in my opinion. So what is Coast FIRE? So when you invest enough in your retirement accounts up front, it actually grows without any additional contributions to support your retirement at a specified age. So basically, this is a much better version than the traditional FIRE movement, and I'll explain why. So I'm not going to do a whole video on this or go on a rant, but I feel like the traditional FIRE movement, you have to give up a lot in your 20s and 30s, which is your prime age, in my personal opinion, for traveling and doing other things. And also, I feel like this turns people into cheap misers that don't buy rounds of drinks, don't pay for people's dinners, or just overall cheap people that I don't want to hang out with. Okay, so if that offends you, good. So when you invest enough in your early retirement account, we have the power of compound interest that's working on our side. So you still need to earn money if you achieve Coast FIRE, but you no longer need to save for money for traditional retirement. So once you get to this certain number, which I'll show you a chart here in a second, you're done. Okay, you can actually coast to retirement. So what this allows is it allows you to pursue other interests that potentially pay less, or if you want to do something that's a little bit more rewarding, but that doesn't pay as much, or give you some entrepreneurial freedom or creative freedom, Coast FIRE is the way to go. So the way this works is that your investments will actually compound and actually get to your retirement number, allowing you to actually coast once you reach the number up front. So this is actually taken off of walletburst.com, and I'm going to use their calculator as well during this presentation. But I think that we all need to revisit this personal wealth spectrum. So basically, all the way on the red, you have here the negative net worth crowd. So I talked about this in my video, the 6 levels of wealth. Okay, so we had those 6 levels. The first level was where you're basically budgeting, almost paycheck to paycheck. So the first spectrum is negative net worth. Then in orange, we have 0 net worth. Then you're starting to get into an emergency fund where, hey, I'm out of debt. My net worth isn't 0. I'm actually starting to put away some money now for a rainy day. And then after that, almost like in the yellow, just before Barista FIRE, we have Coast FIRE. So it's almost like a light orange. After that, we have all the different versions of FIRE. We have Barista FIRE, Lean FIRE, Traditional FIRE, and Fat FIRE. If you're not familiar with Fat FIRE, this is basically where typically you're a high income earner, you're a younger person, maybe in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and you want to retire fat. You want to retire with a high standard of living, meaning how much money you can pull out every year to live with. That is Fat FIRE. So what I mentioned earlier and what I alluded to earlier is that to get to Traditional FIRE or even Fat FIRE, if you make enough money, it's very difficult in your 20s and 30s based on how much money you make. For the majority of people, I don't want to say it's unattainable, but you sacrifice a lot. And personally, I wouldn't do that because your 20s and 30s are very special, in my opinion. So if you're watching this on a TV, you can probably see it. If you're watching it on a cell phone or a tablet, I apologize. This is as big as I could have made the picture. But right here off of Wallet Burst, this is a great chart that it basically shows you the savings required to coast to retirement. So all these numbers you see here, so if you're looking at like the 64, for example, or, any of this stuff, you can actually see those are thousands of dollars, okay? So let me just break this down real quick. In the y-axis, where my cursor is to the left going up and down, this is the annual spending in retirement. So it's anywhere from 20 grand all the way to 100 grand. This is the amount of money that you are planning on spending when you retire, okay? The age down here is at which you need to save the certain amount, which are in all these little squares, at what age. So you can see here that it ranges from 22 all the way to 60 years old, and it's color-coded. So 0 to 250K is supposed to be the easiest to attain. 250 to 500,000 is light green. 500K to 750K is yellow. 750K to a million is light orange. Then you have a million to a million 2.5, and then basically to 1.5 million and up in the red here. So there's some assumptions here that I want to go over with. So this is calculated using 8% growth rate. Historically, the market has returned 7 to 10% annually, depending on what information you get your stats from. This person is using 8% growth rate. They're using a 3% rate of inflation, which historically I think that's fair, but we all know that CPI affects other people differently. Inflation affects other people differently. And then they're assuming a 3.5% safety withdrawal rate. So safety withdrawal rate, typically 3 or 4%. I've done videos on this in the past. Typically, say you have a nest egg of like $1 million, you can safely withdraw 4% per year, pay yourself from that $1 million without ever touching your principal, in the hopes of it compounding and growing back above and beyond that 4%. Makes sense? And inflation. So when we're going over this chart, you can see here, if you're 22 years old and you want to save 20 grand in retirement, be able to pay yourself 20 grand per year in retirement, all you need is $64,000, okay? And on the opposite end of that spectrum, if you're 60 years old and you want 100 grand in retirement, this is assuming a retirement age of 67 years old. I should be very clear about that. You need $2.03 million to get to your COAST number. So this basically just reinforces that the power of compounding and the power of compound interest is on your side. The longer you are invested with the smaller amount of money, it's going to grow to hopefully become a big amount of money when considering for inflation and things like that, which are baked into these numbers, okay? So let's take me, for example. I'm not going to calculate my number. I'm going to use the calculator. I'm going to show you that here. But let's say I'm 34 years old. I literally am 34 years old, and I wanted 100 grand annually spending in retirement. To get to my COAST number, I would need $571,000 today, and I would never have to contribute another penny to retirement again. Does that make sense? So assuming the age of 67, a 34-year-old who wants 100 grand every year in retirement would put away $571,000. Make sense? Okay. So let's get to figuring out, you're probably asking, hey, Marco, how do I figure out what my annual retirement spending is? Like, what do I need to get to that FIRE number and figure out that annual spending? So this is my fancy Apple Pencil that I bought just for this video. $140 after tax, no big deal. Please like and subscribe so my daughter can eat and go to college. Okay, so let's figure this out. What are we trying to figure out here, Marco? So to figure out our FIRE number, remember this is the number that we're trying to achieve, you simply take your annual spending. So this is the money that you want per year in retirement, okay? You take that and you divide it by your safety withdrawal rate. Remember, we talked about this being somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 4%, okay? I'll link the old video where I went over the 4% rule somewhere either in the description or maybe I'll leave it like up here or something like that. So if we do this math, I'm going to clear out the screen right now. So if we clear out the screen, let's say your retirement spending is going to be 50 grand a year, or that's what you want to pay yourself, right? You divide that by 0.04. That's the safety withdrawal rate. Remember, the 3 to 4%. The author and Wallenburst used 3.5% for that table that I showed you. We're going to be using 4% just to be more conservative because of what's going on with bonds and the traditional risk parity portfolio, 60-40 portfolio. This number, I just did the math ahead of time. It's $1.25 million. So this is the number that these people are going for, $1.25 million. So that's how you get these numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this a step further and show you this person. I believe it's Walletburst. I'm going to show you their calculator. So let's use me as an example again, okay? So there you go. That was the $140 pencil right there. please give it a like. Please subscribe. Don't kill or smash the like button. Just gently click it. Do all the things that the YouTubers tell you to do. You're welcome. That was unbelievable. I'm going to give myself a cookie at the end of this video. All right, so what we have here is a calculator that actually calculates your coast number. This is really helpful and really useful. So you don't even need to know math. You just plug in the variables here. So I'm going to use my age. I'm 34 years old. This is assuming a retirement age of 67. Forget that. I'm not retiring at 67. Let's just say 50, okay? And since your boy needs a nice fat living, I'm going to do 100 G's in retirement, okay? 100 grand per year. Because I like to eat out and I like to do all that other stuff. I like to finance cars for 96 months. No, I'm just kidding. So current invested assets, let's just pretend I have more than this. Let's just pretend it's 125 grand. That's in my taxable M1 finance account. I have 300 something grand in there, but I'm just going to use 125. So monthly contribution, I don't know. Let's pretend like I'm contributing 2 grand a month to this. Let's be conservative. Let's say investments are going to grow at 6%. Inflation rate, 3%, even though we all know it's higher. Safety withdrawal rate, 4%. So to get to my coast number at current age, I need to invest $1.5 million to be able to coast to my retirement before age 50. So I need to increase my monthly contribution. That's what it's telling me, the calculator. So let's say I increase this to 5 grand a month. Okay, I still need to increase it more. Let's do 7. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's do 12. Let's do 11. Okay. So this is just for the sake of example. I'm obviously using a ridiculous example here. But so if Marco's 34, which I am, I want to retire in 16 years. I want to make 100 grand a year in retirement. And I have 125 currently invested. And I'm contributing 11 grand a month. Okay, let's just say I'm putting away 11 grand a month. My investments are growing at 6%. Inflation is 3%. Safety withdrawal rate is 4%, which we just showed you on the iPad. Remember this right there? Boom. Boom. I need to get to 1.55 million. Okay, so when I do that, you can see this chart. It's all laid out for you. The gray number is your net worth with continued contributions. It's this right here, this little gray line. The blue line is your coast fire number, so you can see the equilibrium right here where all these numbers meet. Then you can see your net worth with no contributions after coast, so you can see the green line is still going up even after I stop contributing here. And then you can see the fire number is this constant. My fire number is 2.5 million. Okay, that's what it calculated. Now, what does this tell you? This tells you that you have to invest a lot of money, but I'm also shaving off 17 years. Remember, this retirement age is really 67. See what it does to the coast number? It goes from 1.56 million to 942,000 right there. Okay, so your time frame and compounding is your friend. That's the whole point of this video and the whole point of this exercise. Now, let's say Marco wants to retire at 50, all variables being constant, but Marco's a young buck. He's 21 instead of 34. That shaves off 500 grand. 1/3 of that number. Remember, my number at 34 was 1.56 million. This is 1.06 million. Okay? Boom. Your boy's about to retire when he's a young buck at 21. But you know what, ladies? I got a little pepper in my hair. I got a little pepper in the beard. I have the stamina and the experience. Okay? Oh, I'm just having too much fun at this point. All right, so the whole point of this video is to show you that Coast Fire is much more attainable than traditional financial independence, retire early. So Coast is more attainable. It allows you to not be as super strict with yourself at a young age. Still allows you some budgeting for travel and other things. It'll obviously take you longer to get there if you want to spend money, buy drinks, buy dinner, do all that good stuff. Actually enjoy a fulfilling life, unlike the advice from 99.9% of other personal finance gurus, if you will. You don't have to drive to save 10 cents on gas. You don't have to turn down the thermostat, all that good stuff. Okay, guys. I took Dave Ramsey's advice. I just drove 3 hours and 45 minutes to save 17 cents a gallon on gas. This is the line. I think everyone else heard about it too. This actually allows you to live a life. You do a little bit of both. My mantra is golden middle. Everything in the golden middle, okay? You don't have to be extreme. You don't have to eat rice and beans. You don't have to live lavishly. everything in the middle, okay? And you'll get there. So the longer you extend your retirement age, obviously the smaller this number gets, your coast number. The sooner you want to retire, obviously the bigger the number gets. It's just math. And assuming all those variables are equal. 6% growth, 3% inflation, 4% safety withdrawal rate for me. You can up that growth if you want. You'll get there quicker. But, you know, that's being somewhat disingenuous. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 20, 30 years. So I hope you got great value from this video. As always, don't press the like button. Don't subscribe. Don't do any of that stuff unless you really want to. Share the video. I think I provide a lot of value for free. Just a quick update. Everyone's been asking me about Whiteboard Finance University. It was supposed to be my school. That was originally supposed to be like a gym membership model where you pay X amount of dollars per month. You get access to the sauna, steam room, squat rack, bench press, all these different items, which are different courses. I realized that making a quality course and for it to be worth something takes a lot of time and effort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 3 components that I'm working on. I'm working with a software developer to create essentially a net worth tracking app that'll allow you to track your net worth over time, which is what I teach on this channel. That'll be an added bonus. I'm going to have an individual course on growing your wealth and over time and not YOLOing into certain meme stocks, okay? This is actually how to build proper wealth. Individual course. That individual course gets you access to a private membership. If you don't want the course, private membership costs a monthly fee. Very fair, very reasonable. It's a mentorship. It gets you an hour with me weekly on a live stream, private live stream, and then that'll also get you access to that net worth tracking web app. So it's 3 things: courses, community, software, all in one package, all with your boy, all in a professional setting. It's a mentorship more than anything. It shows you exactly what I'm buying, selling, doing with my money, and also if you need, career advice, things like that. Unlike most YouTubers, I've actually worked in finance, have a finance degree, worked in commercial real estate, pretty much done a lot. So I didn't mean for this to turn into a commercial, but everyone keeps asking me about it, and I feel like this is the easiest way to let you know. Thank you so much. Have a prosperous day. I'm not going to do anything funny. I'm not your monkey. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not a clown. I will end this video on this note. Thank you.